Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel, my Michael S10 Shopping Garage. Okay, from the most recent video I put up on my 2008 Pontiac G6 3.5 on the antifreeze leak and pulling the balancer off and putting it back on, I have designed my own balancer installer. Give you a bit closer, a better look here in a little bit. Okay. I gave you some not detrimental information yesterday on my recent video, but the 10.9 on the crank bolt, which is a very hard steel, high carbon steel, was only one one grade under aircraft steel. I'm wrong. It's 2 grades under. Aircraft steel is 12 and this bolt is a 10.9. So there's my correction on that. And let's get on with this to show you what I have done. This is all what you will need if you make your own, because I've gone to other auto stores and still cannot find the installation tool that I need for my particular car. I'm paranoid about buying a tool now or renting it, even off of eBay, because it's getting difficult to find. And I've gotten other information. Give me a sec. The information I have gathered so far, this is actually what the bolt is. Picture there is not so great. And as we all know, that owns these 07, 08, 9, 10 Pontiacs, they're getting harder and harder to find the parts for and the hardware for. All right, for the old school balancer installer, which is this, but I've modified the big adjustment nut, 1 5/16. Okay, now, and then again, the trusty short pipe branch will work the trick too. Depending how much clearance we have for this long wrench. We'll find out here in a little bit. The long handle stainer pliers for those tension hose clamps. 3/8 hose. Of course, the screwdriver, hacksaw for the plastic pipe, and to cut it all straight and neat, pipe cutter, the Dremel to adjust and to cut into the welds into this section right here. I'll show you this here in a little bit. And this rubber mallet is for hitting it with, and I'll show you. I just happen to have this PVC pipe in the basement. Probably the 5/8, the 3/4 will work. I just didn't go buy it. And that section of pipe I cut out 3 3/8 by 1 inch. Pretty much just scrap. And before I forget, I rented this tool from the auto store. You can see it's pretty much different. And here's the size. Now look at A. And then for the size it's supposed to be, B, 14 mil by 1.5, Dodge Chrysler Jeep. So it is a bit confusing. I'm not even trying to use this. None of these fit really good. This top one, the A rod or bolt, just does snag onto the threads and the crank snout, but not enough to make me comfortable. And as far as the MIG is concerned, heat minimum to start with, to set it up, 1, and then 2. And the reason why I set the spacer up the way I did is for your vehicle and my other one, my s10 Aveo. It's possible I can still use this. Take this off, a shorter, longer piece, not much longer, or shorter, and make it work on another vehicle. You may be able to do the same if you choose to do it this way. And here's the jig I set up to do this setup. And then I take it out, put it between both hands, index finger and thumb, and spin it like a generic human lathe, turn it, and got it as straight, gun barrel straight as I could eyeball get it. Put it back in the device. And the gap here that you see, tack it in 3 or 4 places on low heat, min, and 1 in 3 to 4 places. Then take this off, then it's reasonably straight, and then put it on, so leave it on min or minimum heat, and go to 2, and put 2 good welds on 2 to get the hold better. Now I have tried this a little bit to install the balancer. I do feel good about this, but I can't make a promise that it's always going to hold up. And look here. Whoops, can't do that just, or can I? Yeah. Now look how much thread bite I get. That's comfortable. The other tools that I've rented, I have half of that. I'm not comfortable with that. And to reiterate, I did try it at almost 3/8 of an inch, and it felt really good. But I put transmission fluid inside of here and on the snout of the crank to make it go on a lot smoother. Now, I'm going to try this first. I'll get back to you all, let you know I had success. Because if this snaps off, I've got this much, approximately from my thumb to the hose, still left out past the crank that I can get a hold of with vice grips or whatever I might need to back it out of the crank. Because this gets broke off in the crank or stuck, well, that's a major operation that we do not want to get into. If we do, then I will tell you and show you. But let me try this out first so I feel 100% comfortable, and it does 100% work. And it won't be much longer. Now, before we head out to the car, both hands to do this. I'm just doing it this way to show you how almost gun barrel straight that is. That's the best jig I could come up with. Okay, let's go outside. And once again, apologize for the noisy traffic. Okay, let's do this. That's the cam one-handed. All right. Yeah, I know, I still got the timing cover off, and I'm doing all this just so I get that off and get this thing back together and back on the road. for the end that I modified. If you don't go dropping it everywhere, but it happens. Nothing to worry about. Okay, if it can let us see a little bit of what's going on in here, best I can do. Look how much bite that I have, but I know the bouncer's not on, so that'll make a bit of a difference. But still comfortable enough for me. Now it bottoms out. Now I'm not sure if it's bottomed out to the crank or I'm just to the weld and it stops it. But still I got a good bite, a comfortable bite. Okay, give me a second. Okay. Yeah, let the sun come out. I do believe this will work, but I want to prove to myself and what I still might need to do before I give the okay for you all to try this or do this if it's going to be done. Of course, hand tight. We get the adjustment nut and the inch and 5/16. Yeah, there's plenty of room for that versus the pipe bridge. Okay, that's what I wanted to find out for us at this time. Okay. Okay, we're back into the shop. Now, before I forget this in the video, after this was tacked at min 1, okay, 4 places I tacked it, and with the rubber hose on there, of course. And then I did the min 2 all the way around. And then I took the Dremel and cut halfway through with the welds at min 1. After min 2, min 1 then min 2. Cut about halfway down and filled it in with min 2. Turned it over or around. Min 2 on the other side in that groove that I cut. And then to make like a lathe at the Dremel, and I smooth it all down like so. This should hold. I'm not guaranteeing this will work, but I feel better about it. That's my disclaimer. Be very careful if you go ahead and do this. You're at your own on this. I have not fully tested this yet. Let me do this. I'll get back to you. This is a lot of work and research to go into this because I can't find the one that fits the works this. I'm not saying they're not out there. So, my other part of this, say the disclaimer that if you try this on your own without me knowing about what's going on first, you're in for a whole lot of trouble more than likely. Let me find out. I thank you once again. There's the bolt head I took off. And yeah, it's a 10.9 and a 14 mil. Okay, everyone. Peace out, be safe, keep the ridges turning, easy on the knuckles until the next video coming up. How soon, I don't know. How this all works out, and I will let you know. I hope to give you the okay on this. I'm not even sure myself. Thank you so much, and have a great one.